this party started. I got to get to my next flight. So today, what I want to talk to you about, let's find it, is, come on, baby, find it. Here we go. I turned the page while I was getting ready to get this thing started. So I'm going to talk to you about the power of failing forward and the power of proximity. So I'll say this, you've heard it before, but you need to be reminded. This is not magic, it's motion. Success is a math problem. I know that sounds heartless and whatever, but the more numbers you do, the better you get. When you're like, I'm not really getting results, because you probably don't have a coach, right? And then you're not doing enough numbers. So success is a math problem. I remember when I was new to real estate, Marguerite, Andre, some old timers, Clark, we've been around decades. Do you remember when we first started, we had a few clients, and if you have a few clients, you make a few sales. And then we got more clients, and lo and behold, shocker, we made more sales. And then somehow we overcame our fear and uncomfortableness, and we picked up a lot of clients. And we sold, Andre, unmute yourself. How many homes have you sold over your career? Like 10, 20, 50? Unmute yourself, Andre. How many homes have you sold roughly?
Me and my team, probably 1,000 over the 30 years.
Oh yeah, over 1,000 home sales. And Marguerite, unmute yourself. You ran a brokerage, and between that brokerage, or even if you just do your own stuff outside of the brokerage, I know the number's staggering, even outside of that brokerage, isn't it?
I did a little over 4,000. I have done a little over 4,000 transactions in my 30-year career in December.
That is awesome. Congratulations. Now, does that count all the agents at your brokerage or what you personally signed on to?
No, that was my personal production, separate from the brokerage.
She's not counting the 100 agents at her brokerage, you guys. That is just freaking awesome. I had 45 buyers agents at one time. I leaned it back to 18 at Keller Williams, 45 at Remax, but that's given me over 4,000 sales. But here's the deal. The more clients you have, the more homes you sell. The more people you're prospecting for EXP, the more you're going to put on your front line. So you need to figure that part out. How do I do that? It's called, you got to want it bad. You got to have a burning desire to succeed. You got to power through. So here's the deal. I want you to evaluate your current situation right now. I'm going to give you 4 choices. A, are you in a dire situation? Like you have groceries to buy, bills to pay, car payments, mortgage payments, and there's not enough money to pay those things. I would call that a dire situation. So you got to be real with yourself. B, are you, what was B? Are you doing okay? Doing okay. By the way, doing okay sucks. Right? Who wants to be doing okay? Or C, hey, you're doing pretty good. You're selling 25, 30, 35 homes a year. And there's a quote, there's a book out there called Good is the Enemy of Great. Hey, I'm glad you're doing pretty good. You know, you're getting a C, a B, but you could be like D. And what D is, you're killing it. You're crushing it. Everything you touch turns to gold. I've been there. You're not always in D. Sometimes you slip back into C, and sometimes you're in a dire situation. I have been in a dire situation. Marguerite, have you ever been in a dire situation? Yes. Yeah. Andre, the man, have you ever been in a dire situation? Like, man, I got to go sell some homes. I need to pay some bills and make some money. Have you ever been there, Andre? Not really. He's pretty recent. Marguerite,
not really. I was working 2 jobs when I was selling real estate, so I had another full-time job, so I was okay with it.
Yeah. You never let your Marguerite and I were full-time real estate agents. Let me tell you, we both have tasted a dire situation, and it sucks. It sucks. But the good news, you can get over it. Like I said, success is a math problem. There's this ancient passage of scripture, and it's from the Bible that says, I'd rather you be ice cold or red hot, but lukewarm, I spew you out of my mouth. God doesn't even like okay or pretty good. It's kind of like lukewarm. What happens if someone spills lukewarm water on your arm or your thigh? You go, wow, I'm wet. What if they spill boiling water on your arm or your thigh? Do you move quickly? Oh, baby, you move quickly. And so here's the bottom. At 212, water turns to steam and will power a steam engine and take down a mountain of bills. We'll take down a mountain of dreams and goals. But I think 99% of America runs around at 211, 210, 205, 190, 140. 80. They're taking tickets at a parking garage, $10 a car, $20 a car. And God bless them for working. I respect that. But you know what? You were made for more. I heard a guy saying this once. You playing life small does not serve the world. And so, come on, baby. That's what I get to say. So, forget 211. Forget doing pretty good. You got to figure out how to dial deep. If you're frustrated right now, you guys have heard me say this a lot. It's a precursor to breakthrough. When you get frustrated enough, you will do something about it. What does that mean? Maybe you'll hire a coach. Randy Bird coaches, right? I think Gail DeMarco just got Success Coach certified. There are other people who coach. Bill Pipes. For those of you in Sacramento, Bill Pipes was in town. Was he amazing? Shay, I'll give an example. Shay, unmute yourself, Shay. This is a great example. Now, if Shay's not frustrated, she's just a freaking winner. And ex-athlete, she's still an athlete. I tried to make you an ex-athlete. That was bad. I'm sorry. So I tell Shay, you need a coach. Okay. She goes out and gets a coach. She hired Bill Pipes as her coach. I haven't even talked to you about it. How do you like coaching with Bill Pipes?
Honestly, it's been amazing. I actually just got off the phone with Anna, his assistant, but we just started within the last 2 weeks. Obviously, I reached out to you for a recommendation, and I'm definitely very frustrated because I recently did the changeover to EXP and just kind of getting used to everything. You know, I really had to take a step back to kind of go back to the basics, and I needed somebody else in my life. And I was actually referred to Bill Pipes about a year ago. It didn't pan out. I was going to get to one of his assistants or one of his coaches rather than him. Obviously, I connected with you. You connected me with Bill Pipes. And so I wasn't able to make it to California, but I see that he's going to be at Build. So I'm super excited to hear him talk there and be able to meet him officially. He's fantastic. I think everybody needs a coach of some sort at no matter what level you are at, because you need somebody to pull you up and to push you to the next level and start thinking about things outside what you're thinking in your comfort zone. So huge thanks to you for that, Brent.
No problem. Now, Shay has been selling 70 homes a year for a long time, but she's coachable. She's teachable. I said, you need a coach. She went and did it. And I remember when I got I got in group coaching for $295, and then I got my own coach for like $795. And now I paid for coaches for $1,000 a month, $1,500 a month. Last year, my coach was $10,000 a month. I spent $10,000 a month on coaching because I want to get better. And so you're like, well, I can't afford Bill Pipes, or I can't afford Randy Bird or Gail. Start with group coaching. Sean Kokoska does group coaching. I think it's $295, $495. Even Randy Bird has a group coaching program. Shay, can you are you comfortable saying what it costs a month to coach with Bill? I think he says he can't handle any more people.
It just kind of worked out. I know he wasn't really taking on new clients, and it just kind of, I think everything happens for a reason, but it's $2,400 a month. So, it's expensive.
Did you kind of pucker up going,
a little bit, but you know what? I knew that investing that kind of money, because I'm just thinking like, oh, there's a lot of other things that I could be paying for. But I know that committing that time and that money, that's really going to really make me focus on the stuff that he gives me to get that done for our next appointment. And I really saw the value. He even comes out once every 6 months to actually come see me for half a day. I don't know what we're going to do in Nebraska for half a day, but
that is awesome.
Yeah.
He's a great guy. Well, you're going to love it. He is speaking at Build. He's going to rock it. Awesome. Thank you, Shay, for sharing.
Yes. Yep.
All right. So here's the deal. If you're frustrated, you'll do something about it. If you're miserable, you will wallow in it. So if you're frustrated right now, congratulations. It's a precursor to breakthrough. Success, struggle, fight through it. Again, I want to say it again. Success is a math problem. You got to get it through your head. It is not magic. It's motion. Get motion. It's not working. Then do more. Double down on what you're doing. Triple down on what you're doing. Well, I don't know if I'm willing to work that hard. Okay, then your goals and dreams aren't that big. Whatever it was, have your kids in private school, having your bills paid just isn't that important to you. Just freaking admit it. So it gets down to this. How bad do you want it? Want what? Well, that's the problem. There it is right there. You don't even know what you want. Like, go have a come to Jesus meeting with yourself. Get a cup of coffee, go to your favorite spot, I recommend a beautiful resort. I did some of my best thinking at the Sheraton Grand in downtown Sacramento. They have a beautiful lobby. They serve espresso all day. I drink about 14 of them. bar and you get brave on caffeine, you're drugging yourself up on caffeine, and you sit there with a yellow notepad and you're going, man, what do I want from my family? What do I want from my kids? What do I want from my husband, my wife, my marriage? What do I want from my team? What is it I want to do this year? What is the one thing that will make the biggest difference this year? And then maybe it's quit drinking. Hello? If you got a drinking problem, maybe it's quit doing drugs. You laugh, I guarantee you there's people on here, somebody's probably doing drugs. There's 44 people on there, you never know. So you got to have those moments. But how bad do you want it? And what is it that you want? And how are you going to get there? Like, what's the target? What are you measuring against? And so make sure you do those things. You've heard me say it again. You just got to have that burning desire. And here's the deal. You're going to fail for it. You're going to struggle. You're going to fight. You're going to just, grind it out. And that's all part of the process. That's why we respect people who are self-made. I mean, in my opinion, hopefully that you build this on your knees and you give God some credit. I will for my life. I am not self-made. God has helped me so much. And I hope that's a part of your life, but that's a personal thing. But here's the deal. When you have a burning desire to make it, here's what's going to happen. You're going to read the books. Like Fanatical Prospecting by Jeb Blunt. You're going to read that book. You're going to read Dale Carnegie's How to Win Friends and Influence People. I've never read that book. Really? Because it's like the most, besides the Bible, there's never been a book more printed than How to Win Friends and Influence People. It's a basic, but you should read the book. And so there's so many. Og Mandino is the greatest salesman in the world. I've given away hundreds of that book. My favorite all-time book, Og Mandino, the greatest salesman. But you're going to read the books. You're going to listen to the podcast. You're going to attend the right Zooms. Here you are. You're gonna go to the events. 10X, Tony Robbins, John Maxwell, Build, all that stuff. You're gonna be teachable and coachable. You're because you're willing. You're gonna take immediate, swift action. You're not gonna, well, should I? Yes, you should. Yes, keep going, man. Because you're willing. You're gonna take notes. You're not gonna just listen on Zooms. You're gonna like, okay, what can I glean from this Zoom? You're going to ask questions of yourself. Like, what's it going to take to get this done? You're going to live in appreciation and joy. You're going to learn, listen to me. It is not a destination. If you think, well, when I sponsor 40 people, when I have 1,000 people in my group, I'll be happy. Listen to me. I'm going to tell you right now, money doesn't make your marriage better. It doesn't make it down. Financial problems will not help your marriage when you're stressed out. But let me tell you what, success is not a destination. It's appreciating the wildflowers that, I don't know if it's May, if there's any wildflowers left. I know we had super bloom. I know they're still out there, but it's literally appreciating the rivers and the lakes, appreciating your children, your neighbor, even though he's a hard to love neighbor, appreciating the sky day. Maybe it's raining where you appreciate the rain, the sun, like living. Tony Robbins is always begging people, man, live in gratitude. It's not the Rolex watch. It's not the jet. It's not the big house. You can have those things and be miserable. There's people who have those things that take their life. You got to learn to live in gratitude and joy and peace. It is like right now, like Shay has 3 little kids. Shay, I can tell you one. My little kids are 19 to 30. I got 8 of them. And I'll tell you what, I look back at when they were 2 years old and they're crying at the mall and and they're tired and they're 4 years old and they're having to fit in the car and they're attacking each other like little animals. You're like, I'm going to lose my mind. It's great. Just laugh. Just learn to laugh. And again, this is not a some kind of destination you will get to. You've got to learn to be happy in the moment, the joy now. And I'm not saying you shouldn't have goals, man, but learn to be thankful. Okay, we're going to keep moving here. You got to write this down. You got to put yourself in the right rooms. Well, this is a room. This is a Zoom room, and congratulations. I'm talking to 47 people that have put themselves in the right room. And then here's the deal. Write this down. You're going to love this. Then you're going to make plans. You're going to set goals. Like, I'm going to build, and I'm bringing people, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do that. And then you know what happens? Write this down. All hell will break loose in your life. I mean, I guarantee it. As soon as you go on a diet, people will bring you cookies. They never brought you cookies before. The day you go on a diet, there will be brownies at the office and you will be tested. Trust me. I know. And so your car, I'm going to save money. You'll save $5,000. Your car will blow up and it'll be $5,000 for the repair. Your car finds out about your savings. So here's the deal. Don't be, oh, this sucks. It isn't fair. Listen to me. Life isn't fair. No one's coming to rescue you. And you better go get it done. You better bootstrap it. So bad things happen to good people. I wish I could tell you everything is going to be good. It isn't always going to be like that. And so you want to be a change agent? I do. You want to be a history maker? I do. You know, what is it you do? Like set some goals. Like, how will you be remembered in 500 years? Is that because you have a big ego? You want a giant statue? No. But like, what did you do with your life? Whose life did you touch? Who's going to come to your funeral and cry? I'm going to fly in this Saturday and go to Rob Wolf's funeral. And I'm going to cry and grieve Rob Wolf is no longer on this planet. He touched my life. He touched many of your lives. And in an instant, his life is gone. And it's a tragedy to lose his life in his late 40s or 50s or whatever that is. But let me ask you, man, what are you doing with your life? Like, I don't have a lot of money to give. My pastor, 27, almost 28 years ago, gave me a check for $100. I don't think a lot of you would say 100 money is a lot of money. I cried when I got the check, driving home, gave it to my wife. She went cashed a check at the bank. I bought groceries for our 2-year-old and a 4-year-old. I cried. I was 30 years old as a grown man. You're $100, you're $50, just buying people milk and some bread. You don't know. You don't know. It's not that you have to give a check for 50,000, 100,000, give away a million. Man, I'll give when I'm there. Listen to me. You will never give while you're there. You give out of your brokenness. You give. If you don't give now, you ain't never going to give. Learn to give now and be a cheerful giver. So just a little side note that'll bring you a lot of joy. I'll tell you that. But dare to dream, dare to love, dare to forgive. Some of you get some people you need to forgive. We're on the home stretch here. So here's the deal. What about this proximity thing? What about proximity? Well, the books you read and the people you hang out with, the Zooms you attend and the events you go to rub off on you. If you hang out with people who are white supremacists and they hate people of other colors, it's going to rub off on you. If you have people who do drugs and it's fun, like there's a whole movement of people who are really pushing mushrooms right now, psychedelic mushrooms to explain your brain. I mean, there's a real movement for it. And I met some people who are like, yeah, mushrooms are great, really help. I'm like people you would know if I said the names. It's not Glenn Sanford, okay? But here's the deal. I'm like, are you out of your mind? Like, there's no way. I also know the other end of that, people take the wrong mushroom and become a vegetable the rest of their life. It's insane. You become like, what if you have people who are positive, loving, forgiving, goal-oriented? When they leave the room, you're like sad to see them go. When they enter the room, you're pumped. Well, guess what? I have news for you. Be that person when you enter the room. Write this down. I'm a room lifter, baby. Write it down. Everyone write it down. I'm a room lifter. I enter the room, I lift the room. Not because I'm an egotistical maniac, because I'm going to walk in as a light. I'm going to walk in as a loving person, and I'm going to make each person I talk to feel special. I'm not going to glad hand Jonathan Campbell or Andrew Avalos and look over their shoulder for Jared Davis or Jay Spitz. I'm not going to do that. And sometimes we mess up and we'll do something like that. But here's the deal. When you're with somebody, look them in the eyes. Look Marguerite in the eyes. Give her a hug and make a difference, man. Let me tell you what. There's stories of people who said that jumped off the Golden Gate Bridge and survived. This one guy goes, if one person acknowledges my existence in the next hour, I won't jump, and nobody did. And he jumped, but he lived to tell the story. But he literally said, if just one person will acknowledge me, nobody did. And so, man, the value of human life, it's incredible. And you can be that person. So proximity starts. So who are you going to be intentional and purposeful about hanging out with? I made my list a long time ago. You want to hear some of my people? Elena and Grant Cardone. And when I made that list, I didn't know them. I was just talking to Elena. Literally, Kathy and I were just chit-chat with her when we got through Global Entry. No problem. Talk to Grant. Grant's coached me on buying jets. And he says, when you really get ready, you come see me. I'll help you through it. And he's really polite, nice in person. He doesn't have a big stage persona. You would love him. Tony and Sage. I've gotten to know Tony Robbins and Sage, his wife. I got to see their baby before even the world did. You know, he's a public figure. TD Jakes, Tim Tebow. Got to hang out, spend personal time with Team Tebow. I was invited 2 weeks ago to play golf with Tim Tebow at Pinehurst. I turned him down because we're in Europe. I turned down Tim Tebow. What a fool. But what a great guy. Tim Tebow's an amazing guy. Dr. Lance Wallnow, Jesus. Dr. John Maxwell, Tim Story, Jordan Peterson, Ed Milet, Les Brown, Dr. Dennis Whaley, who I just paid 25 grand and hung out with him all weekend in La Jolla. He coached gold medal athletes and sitting U.S. presidents. Steph Curry, Gary Brecka. I made a list. Have you made a list of the people you want to, that you, well, why wasn't my name on that list? I'm trying to up my game so I can love everybody, right? So here's the deal. Like, who is it that excites you? Is it Mother Teresa? If Martin Luther King were around, I'd put Martin Luther King on that list, right? I mean, who's your hero? Who do you respect? And so, you know, and by the way, make sure they have character and they have integrity and they have values, because who you hang out with matters. Jim Rohn says, stand guard at the gateway of your mind. So on that note, I go to Tony Robbins stuff all the time. 97% of what he says is awesome. 3% I'm uncomfortable with. So I just, it's like going to college. You just drink everything up those college professors throw at you, or you take some class, you're like, not really a fit for me, like cultural anthropology, physical anthropology. I don't believe in that stuff. So, I took the classes and bunch of gobbledygook, but I let it go. So the principle of vacuum, we'll end with this. The principle of vacuum. Get rid of what you don't want to make room for what you do want. So what's holding you back? Again, could be drugs, could be alcohol, it could be too much TV, could be watching too many Netflix. It could be certain people who keep going, hey, Marina, who are you kidding? Clark Broom, Clark, who are you kidding? They're gonna, you're like, do you feel better when you leave them? Or do you feel worse? And if you feel worse, maybe you should really limit the time you spend with them. I spend time with people who I feel better when I leave them, and hopefully they feel better when they leave my presence. It's not just about me, and what I can get and suck and take. And, I want to give energy, not take it. But also, if you get around the right people, you receive energy. Not to sound new agey, but you know what I'm talking about. Some people come and you're like, oh, crud, so-and-so's here. I mean, it happens. They're kind of a downer, and they take from the atmosphere in the room. So again, write this down. I am a room lifter. Don't just come and say, motivate me. Bill Pipes, motivate me, right? Jeb Blunt speaking at Build. We got him, paid a fortune. He wrote the book Fanatical Prospecting. Amazing. Motivate me, Jeb. No, you better motivate yourself, Junior. You better be taking notes going, what can I glean from this? So I really want to challenge you in that area. And you all know this, life is a movie. You're the producer and the director. You could rewrite the script for your life. Do it. You can remove the bad characters. Do it. You can change the set location. Some of you need to up and move. I was frustrated in Chico, California. It wasn't working for me. And after years, I go, enough is enough. And I moved to Sacramento. Within 4 years, I was making 8 times what I was making in Chico. I was down to like 50, 60,000 a year at that time. And within 4 years, I was making 400,000 a year. Or I could have stayed in Chico and just wallowed. And it's a low income area. Now prices are up, but from what I was doing, it was such a difference. And so if you need to move. Write this down. Speed increases focus. Speed increases focus. So hit your numbers. Do a lot of it with speed. You'll be more focused. And if you're focused, you're powerful. And your learning curve will go through the roof. Turn it on. Step up. Fight the faith of faith. Get on your knees, man. And guess what? When people get on their knees, it's humble. And people who are on their knees, they get knighted by the king and the queen. They put a sword across their shoulder, man. Humble's a good place to be. My pastor said this a long time ago. If never trust somebody who doesn't walk with a limp. If they're just perfect, everything they've done is perfect, they're full of BS. We all struggle, man. You guys know I almost got divorced in 2010. I didn't live at home for 8 months. I had 5 kids then. I have 8 kids now. It was the worst year of my life. I wouldn't have wished it on my worst enemy. but I'm grateful for it. I'm grateful for it. You look back, you don't love them and appreciate the hard times when you're in them. But guess what? You look back, you know what? It's part of what made me who I am. And I proudly walk with a limp today. And so, you know what? Be sincere, be authentic with people, be real. They can read right through the BS. I'm perfect. Everything's great. Be real with people and love them. Pray for them. If you can see the struggle, you go, man, can I pray for you? It always freaks people out a little bit. I go, no, I don't have to. I go, but can I? Is it okay if I put a hand on your shoulder? I'll put a hand maybe on their shoulder. Real careful about where I put my hand. Don't want to make them feel uncomfortable. I just say a little prayer for them. It blows them away. It's like a drug. People can't get enough of it because people aren't used to getting prayed for. They want to know that you love them more than just their money, man. And so you guys are world changers, history makers. You're not going to be the dash. What's the dash? 1966 to 2023. By the way, I was born in 1966 and it's 2023. I just don't want to be a dash. You go to you see the grid, the tombstones in a cemetery. It's just got this and this. And boy, he was one hell of a carpenter. That Brent Gove, one hell of a speaker, one hell of a real estate guy. Man, I want to make a difference. And I know you guys want to make a difference. So I love you all. Thanks for being here faithfully week after week. Go out there and spread the love. Be a light in a dark world. Lift those rooms. I'll see you at Build. I'll see you next week. And I got the sales, little short sales thing I'm doing at 2:10 Pacific, 5:10 Eastern. Love you all. I got to bounce. I'm going to try to get through the next little hub of security next.